What you need in the building. So I'm live at the end of Devin Haney versus George Kambosos. And what did I tell you guys? People wasn't listening to me. I told you guys how the fight would go. I told you guys how the fight would go. And with Stephen Fulton, I told you guys how that fight would go as well. So the jab did become a major key weapon in the Haney-Kambosos fight, like I said. And Stephen Fulton, as I said, would get a unanimous decision over Daniel Roman, and he did. You know. And I told y'all the Haney versus Kambosos fight was going to be a mismatch. Y'all didn't listen to me. Know what I mean? What you need? Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, share, comment, and donate. And we'll chop it up a little bit later on. Come later today, Sunday. We'll chop it up a little bit later. You know, EJ Boxing Live. Didn't believe me, right? Paulie Malignaggi. Now what you got to say about Devin Haney? He not a real champion now? Several other people in other groups was, saying that I was wrong. And like I said, I called this fight, and I called it as a mismatch from months ago when the fight was made. The Bevo fight, I called it. I called that fight from months when it was made, because styles make fights, Shout out to Stephen Fulton. Congratulations, champ, on your victory over Daniel Roman. Significant because you're one step away from facing MJ Akhmadaliev, who hopefully he will want to face you. Shout out to Devin Haney and Bill Haney on the successful victory that Devin pulled off in Australia, limiting Kambosos to throwing much less than he wanted to and being active much less than he wanted to. The jab controlled that fight, as I said. For those who realize what this fight was, kudos to you. You know your boxing. For those of you who don't, well, it is what it is. I'm going to tell you some hard fights to call. I don't really know who's going to win it. Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence, I don't know who's going to win that fight. When that fight comes, I can't predict the winner. Serrano versus Taylor. I think Taylor, going through adversity, she's probably going to win the rematch. Because I'm sure she learned from Amanda Serrano's style. So I could see Katie Taylor pulling out the rematch. Canelo versus Triple G. I'm expecting Canelo to stop Triple G in this fight. And that's kind of hard to say because Triple G's hardly ever stopped. But I think going to the body, I think, will be... Riz Cola says, a very good fight. It was not for George. I told you he was a bum with dog walking. See, that's the thing, Riz Cola. I knew you guys were going to say that after the fight. And then you guys are going to say that George Kambosos was a bum, and you guys are going on George Kambosos. And that's why I talked highly of George Kambosos before ever uh, uh, I prefaced all of this. I told you guys that George is not a bum, but y'all are going to say that about him after he loses to Devin Haney the way he does. George is not a bum. Ain't no bum beating Teofimo Lopez. Okay? George is not a bum. George is a tremendous fighter. I said how ferocious he is. I said how hungry he is. I told y'all this was a mismatch. Y'all didn't listen to me. I told y'all this is a fight where Kambosos is sort of custom made for Devin Haney. I told you all of this stuff. And then I didn't, after I made my prediction, I didn't need to beat it down on people's heads. I said Devin Haney, unanimous decision. I said it on Coach Anthony's channel. You know, I said it everywhere. I was very vocal about it. And if you go back and watch all my videos, you see I talked about racism in boxing. I talked about a lot of things. Devin Haney's cut from a different cloth to these guys. Okay? You know, I spoke strictly from a boxing perspective. I like Kambosos a lot. And it's not going to change. And just because he lost this fight doesn't mean that he's any lesser a fighter than he was before. And he's not a bum. Okay? I don't know if he wants a rematch to try and do better. But I want to congratulate Devin Haney on making history. He's done what Jack Johnson did, 100 and something years ago. And I believe the Australian public is going to like him as well as embrace George Kambosos. A lot of people are going to say Kambosos, didn't do what we expected him to do. And I'm going to say Devin Haney made that so. Devin Haney took away from Kambosos what he usually does. So all those people were riding on the Kambosos train, don't fall off the train now. That's my problem. Because why are you on the Kambosos train? Really? Is it because you didn't like Devin Haney and you thought this guy could beat him? And that the situation was lined up for beat him? But once Devin Haney beat Kambosos, you drop him like a hot potato? Are you really a true fan of Kambosos, or are you just a hater of Devin Haney? Because I like George Kambosos. And I rock with that dude. Ain't nobody leave their home country and win in another man's country and you call him a bum. Get the hell out of here with that shit. That man being on the road, fighting on the road. I like George Kambosos. So, for all those fake ass fans out here who will ride a guy's coattail because you see him beating another guy, but when he don't do it, you drop him like a hot potato and you move on because you're a hater, guess what? Guess what? I'm not you. If Devin Haney was to lose that fight in Australia, a lot of y'all would have bashed him. Y'all would have clowned him. Meanwhile, I'd have defended him. I'd have defended Devin Haney. So, if I would defend Devin Haney, and I like Devin Haney, I'm going to defend George Kambosos because I like George Kambosos. If you're a real fan of boxing, What you will do instead of trying to clown George and trying to say how fake he is, which he's not, he the real deal, he's a real fighter, is y'all would praise Devin Haney. And that's the attitude in boxing I'm talking about. And I'm going to tell you who started this shit and really annoys me. The person who started this, where instead of people praising the guy that wins, they clown, shout out to Troy Ingram, they clown the guy that lost, is Larry Merchant. Larry Merchant, with his bullshit, started when a guy win, it wasn't good enough. And he would come to town and he'd try to say all kinds of stupid shit to tear down a fighter. And that behavior and that nature has been inculcated in many a fan today who don't know shit about boxing. Don't know shit about boxing. All you really want to do is be negative all the time. So before you come up with that negative energy on my channel to talk shit, let's get to the real stuff. Devin Haney made history. He is the youngest, undisputed, four-belt champion. Troy Ingram in the building. You want to come on this feed? Just now, hold on a second. Let me finish this off. I'm going to go on StreamYard, and I'm going to let you come on. I'm going on StreamYard, okay? But I'm going to have to clean my phone off, okay? And I'm going to let you come on, Troy. He's the youngest, undisputed, lightweight champion of the world. Goddamn. And since Pernell Whitaker, he is the first undisputed lightweight champion since Pernell Whitaker. Oh, we're not done yet. We're not done yet. He's also the first four-belt undisputed lightweight champion of the world. Devin the Dream Haney has started to complete the dream. Shout out to Devin Haney. Shout out to Bill Haney. Shout out to Yoel Judah, Zab's Judah father, who's involved in the second undisputed training, the second undisputed champion under his tutelage. Making history yet again. A two-time undisputed champ. He's trained two undisputed champions. Two. Made history once again. Now, don't tell me that Devin Haney, he's not the king of the division right now. He the king. He is the king of the division. But let us see if Devin Haney will have the same attitude as George Kambosos and try to go for the toughest fighters in the division. That is the question. That is the question. Or will he, when she gets the belts, start playing politics? This is what we want to know. And of course, the haters and detractors of Devin Haney are going to immediately say, oh, he's going to dunk this guy and he's going to dunk that guy. But we're not talking about that. We're going to look at what he does. It's not what he says. It's not the yapping. Now, shout out to George Kambosos on making a great promotion. I'm going to stop this stream right here, because some of you guys want to come on my stream and y'all want to chop it up with me. I see a lot of you guys popping on the stream right now. But I'm going to allow you guys, I'm going to go up on StreamYard so you guys can come in, say your comments. I'm going to keep quiet for a little bit. But I got a lot more I want to say concerning boxing and us as fans becoming more educated fans. And I know Coach Anthony on another stream right now, he's there talking about that as well. But I'm not here. You know, this is why we call What You Need. We are here to talk boxing and to get fans interested in the sport of boxing and get them educated more on the sport of boxing, as I myself have been educated more on the sport of boxing. And if you can go and get yourself, in a gym and do some boxing, that's also a good thing. Anyways, I'm going to wrap it up right here. If y'all want to smack the like button to help me out in my journey, and if you guys want to donate via PayPal in the journey to my channel as well, this is good because I'm just here to try and shine some kind of light on boxing and help people to be a little bit more informed when they watch the sport. And some of you are, and some of you are not. But as you grow in the knowledge of the sport, and you do some of the sport, please try and do some of the sport. It's called boxing. It's not MMA. It's not combat sports. It's boxing. And as you begin to appreciate it, I hope that on social media we hear less of he's a runner, and less of he's a coward, less of he don't got no power, and all this bullshit that have nothing to do with boxing. It has nothing to do with boxing. And if you don't understand the significance and to understand what skills mean, skills are not things you just born with. Nobody's born with skills. Skills are taught. That means you have to be able to learn them. You got to be humble enough to be teachable in boxing. You got to be humble to learn in boxing. All that stuff you see Floyd Mayweather doing, all that stuff you see Devin Haney doing, they were taught it. Just like any other sport out there, you have to learn. You may have talents, meaning you may have, naturally without being taught, you may be able to do certain things relatively okay, right? But skills are not talents. God gifting is something you're born with, like quick twitch muscles. You're born with speed. Talents is something you may have acquired by learning on your own in your own way. But skills from hundreds of years of refinement that's passed down, distilled and passed down to today. Skills are taught. Okay? Taught. Which means you have to be teachable. You have to be humble in this sport. You're not humble. I don't care how braggadocious some fighters may seem. If they are succeeding in this sport, it's because they're teachable. And they're seeking to learn. They're seeking to learn. They don't put no cap on it. They always continuously trying to learn more. That's the truth about boxing, y'all. That's the truth about boxing. If you're content, you think you're at the top of the game and you're content and you're not working at perfecting your craft and learning every single day how to do it better and better, then guess what? You're going to lose. You're going to lose. Because there's always going to be somebody out there working harder than you, more focused than you, learning the craft more than you, younger than you, stronger than you, faster than you, quicker than you, may have a better boxing IQ than you. So you have to constantly be working at the sport. As what's his name? Who was it that said it? Sean Porter, in one of his podcasts, was explaining to a young child what boxing is. You can't put boxing on the side and say, I'm doing boxing here, and then do a number of other things while you're young. Boxing's either your life or forget about it. You're not going to be where these top guys are. It's got to be your life. His mother, he had the ability and other things. Where EJ Boxing at? I don't know where EJ Boxing's at, but, Troy, you know what it is. You know how it is. EJ backed Kambosos. He was thinking Kambosos would win. And, I ain't mad at him. He had his reasons. I understood what his reasons were. And I even spelled it out for you guys on this channel. Why people would think that Kambosos would win. So what Devin to the table, and what you can do, guys, is right. Shout out. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. We're live, live, live once again. That was just my phone. I think that sort of set me up. Sorry about that, guys. But as I was saying, the technicalities of it, Mickey Bay breaks it down. So you can go check it out on Fight Hype, and we could chop that up a little bit more a little bit later. But shout out and congratulations to Stephen Fulton on his victory over his dominant victory, his unanimous decision victory, his whitewash of Daniel Roman. Looking forward to him becoming undisputed when he fights MJ uh, okay, I can pronounce the guy's name right now, but until when he becomes undisputed against the, the the Eastern European Southpaw, okay, at super bantamweight. So hopefully that can get on the way. And congrats to Devin Haney and the whole Haney team. Now it's about defending that undisputed title, and I believe the first defense will probably be, if it's not against a rematch with Kambosos, it's probably going to be against Vasily Lomachenko. Like you guys saw, these guys are not evenly matched. This was not a 50-50 fight. I told y'all it was a mismatch. Y'all didn't listen to me. Styles make fights, and boxing's about knowledge. I'm gonna catch you guys later on what you need. I'm gonna go get a stream so that Troy Ingram can hop on and say his piece. So I'm out of here. I'm gonna catch you guys later. Peace.